Hello, everyone. I'm Christian Roberts. I'm here with my fabulous friend and co host,
Quodicia Johnson.
and we are back with another episode of Taking the Stage with Christian.
And Quo. And of course, as we start every single episode, we ask that you join us in a land and people acknowledgement. We want to take the time right here, right now in this space to acknowledge that we in Dallas are on stolen land. We are on the land of the Caddo, the Wichita, and of the Comanche sovereign nations. Nations of people who lived a full human experience, people who loved, who fought, who gathered, who grew, who lost, nations that faced horrible conditions that included genocide and policy that allowed for the forceful removal from their land by any means necessary. We also want to take the time to acknowledge that people were stolen from their homes and brought here to Dallas and forced into free and enslaved labor. And from that free and enslaved labor, we now have what we enjoy as Dallas. Dallas is not alone in this, as the entire nation benefits from stolen land and stolen labor. We do this because it is important in the ways that we connect, not how we place blame, but how we take ownership of the narratives of the ways in which our communities are still here, still thriving, and the beautiful stories that come out of these things, but also the beautiful opportunities to heal the harm and to move forward together. So I thank you for joining us for this land and people acknowledgement.
And I thank you for joining us today. As with all episodes, we always want to thank the Dallas Opera staff and leadership for their continued support. And of course, a shout out to our very dear friend and brother, David Lomeli.
Hey, David.
Look forward to seeing you again, my friend. Don't worry, we're coming to visit. Thank you all so much for your continued support. And of course, to our audience, week after week, you come and join us. So thank you so much. Quote, let's get into it.
Yes. So this particular episode, we wanted to have a conversation about the things that we've learned. We know that the 25th marked a year since the murder of George Floyd. So we want to talk about the things that we've learned, the things that we see, as well as the things that we're looking forward to doing and to experiencing as we move all of this work forward as an industry, but of course, as a nation, as a society, as a people, as a world. So I'm gonna kick it off, if that's okay, Christian, with some of the things that I've seen that we have learned, and that is the opportunity to create beautiful spaces where we are actually doing what matters. I've
Mhm.
seen those spaces, I've been able to experience those spaces. We know that it's common now, it's a common practice now at the Dallas Opera, which is so beautiful. So I encourage everyone to participate in that practice in authentic ways, but then to also acknowledge the necessity for the foundation for real conversations. And
Mhm.
that's real conversations about the truth, about the parts that are uncomfortable, about the parts that are uplifting, about the parts that make us question the things that we've learned. We talk
Yes.
about it often in this show, but it's so necessary in order for us to get to those spaces of belonging and to get to those conversations. So I've seen that take place. I've seen people speaking their truths. I have seen that we've learned what it means to value the truth and what it means to question the way that we do things in the field, the way that we do things in this industry, especially concerning artists, concerning body image, of course, always concerning identity, concerning race and ethnicity and gender, ability, age. We have all these different identifiers that we are starting to bring to the forefront and say no more. I fear that we are not learning as much as we think we are learning,
Amen.
and that we've had this long conversation, this drawn out conversation of suddenly so many people sharing their experiences, a lot of times their trauma, so that everybody else can suddenly get it, only for our organizations to be so eager to go back to normal or to go back to the stage or return to the way things were, that we are dishonoring the ways in which we need to make sure we are uplifting those stories. We are dishonoring those experiences. We are dishonoring the value and the vulnerability of experiencing other people's stories and witnessing other people's stories and experiences, and we're dismissing them. And it's a dishonor. So I see the things that we've learned, and then I see that we have not learned as much as we think we've learned, because here we are yet again in similar situations. So that is what I'm sharing and what I've learned and what we've learned and what I see we need to learn. What about you?
I'm seeing similar things as well. I'm also seeing a push across this nation in many different ways of suppressing the truth and calling uh, things that they are not. Saying that something like critical race theory or something like that, legislation against that, and teaching the truth to our children and teaching different aspects of life and things that have happened and additions to the narrative that we have been taught all these years.
Hmm.
And I am seeing that, and that is very disturbing to me. That that children of color, Black children, American Indian, Native American children, Mexican children, Puerto Rican children, Asian children, whoever, we're old enough to experience racism and have to deal with it young children, right? But unfortunately, you have people that are saying that other people's feelings are getting hurt,
Yeah.
particularly white children. And I feel like that's a disservice to all of our children not to teach them the truth. And that is the thing that is baffling to me. When you start doing this to kids who are innocent, this is a problem.
Hmm.
And this is what I want our audience to understand. This is how insidious racism is. This is how it is insidious racial human hierarchy, that faux racial human hierarchy that was put in place, that system of white supremacy is. That's how insidious it is. It sneaks in everywhere. It's in every part of our society. So it is no wonder why my white colleagues and my white friends who are grown now, who are learning this stuff, are shocked and appalled because they got lied to as well.
Yeah.
And that's when we say racism hurts everybody, this is exactly what we mean.
Yeah.
When we say racism robs people, this is what we mean. It robs all of us our humanity. It robs all of us of our truth. It robs all of us of our voice. It just robs us. It robs us of relationships we can form with each other. It robs us of everything. And this is why it's so vitally important that we look up and we open our eyes and see what happens. Because if we have had a year of hard study of this stuff, for you to go back to normal
Go back to normal.
after people of color or marginalized people of any kind have shared their truths and said, please stand with us so we can fix this, it is a slap in the face to want to go back to normal because normal was not so great for some of us. And we saw that on May 25th of last year. You want to go back to normal for real?
Yeah. That was
I
normal
want to go eat
then.
at restaurants, but I don't want to be accosted while I'm out there. Do you, Quo?
No, no, I'd rather not. And I'd rather not have to think about it. And I'd rather not. And it's not so much rather or my preference. I should not have to think about it. I should not
Hey,
have to question whether or not I will be accepted in this space if I go to this particular location or if I engage in this particular activity with the rest of society. I should not have to question. No one should. And we have to be honest and we have to be open about the fact that a lot of people have to question because everybody's not protected the same way. We are not the same. We are the
no,
same. We are not treated
but
the same.
we are not
We are
treated
not
the
given the
same.
same opportunities to walk through this world the same ways. But the separation that is there, these false barriers in who we are and how we get to engage with one another on a daily basis, the things that we have to
Mm,
carry with us home, the things and the weight that we have to consider, just existing, those things can be eradicated. They really can. They really can.
you want to know what I look forward to? I look forward to that.
Yeah.
I look forward to a day where we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
I look forward to a day where we can simply be in a room and be,
And be.
simply walk outside and be. That's what I look forward to. To
And
me,
be
that is something wonderful to look forward to.
and
That is the
be
light at the end of the tunnel.
and create and share in space and be